They do basically like a bed and breakfast kind of situation. There's several bedrooms that people can guest in, and if you want to spend the night in a real haunted house, they also have big parties, events. They hold weddings. You can have your wedding at Lemp Mansion if you'd like.
Yeah.
So
the perfect place for a goth wedding. Sorry.
It might be a place for a goth wedding, or it might be a place just for people who have money to get married someplace nice. Plus, they still have the theater. There's still the pool. So it's kind of a nice area. And it's, like I said, it's still available today for people's perusal. Now, after the death of Charles Lemp, the mansion was sold and turned into a boarding house. Along with the nearby neighborhood, the buildings began to deteriorate and the haunting tales began. Residents complained of ghostly knocks and phantom footsteps being heard throughout the house. As these stories spread, tenants were hard to find for the boarding house, and it continued to decline to a near flophouse status. So, and I should say, and I've been meaning to say this since the beginning, most of the information I got, like I said, does come from Lemp Mansion's official site, but some of it comes from MissouriHauntings.com, which is a constant resource for myself, and some also comes from the Wikipedia on the page. So just those are the sources I use. I always start with Wikipedia and then go down and look at the sources and go from there. And so that's what I did, but there you go. Now, in 1975, the old mansion was saved when Dick Pointer and his family purchased it. Immediately, they began to renovate the building, turning it into a restaurant and inn. Workers within the house often told stories of apparitions, strange sounds, vanishing tools, and a feeling of being watched. Frightened by the hauntings, many would leave the job site never to return. Since the restaurant opened, staff members have reported strange experiences. Again, apparitions appear and then quickly vanish. Voices and sounds come from nowhere, and glasses will often lift off the bar, flying through the air by themselves. On other occasions, doors are said to lock and unlock by themselves. Lights inexplicably turn on and off on their own free will, and the piano bar often plays when no one is near.
Well, okay then.
Said to be haunted by several members of the Lemp family, there are 3 areas of the mansion that have the most activity: the stairway, the attic, and what the staff refers to as the gates of hell in the basement. It is this area, the basement, that used to be the entrance to the caves running below the mansion and the brewery. The attic is supposed to be haunted by William Jr.'s illegitimate son, referred to only as the monkey face boy. The poor soul, born with Down syndrome, spent his entire life locked in the attic of the Lemp Mansion. Strange occurrences are often witnessed on the 3rd floor level of the mansion. The face of the boy has regularly been seen from the street, peeking from the small windows of the mansion. Ghost investigators have often left toys in the middle of this room, drawing a circle around them to see if objects have been moved. Consistently, when they return the next day, the toys are found in another location.
Poor baby.
I know. That just breaks my heart. Just
shame on them.
Exactly.
I'm crying you are.
They kind of deserve whatever they got, treating a little guy like that. That's just not okay.
In the downstairs women's bathroom, which was once William Jr.'s personal domain and held the first freestanding shower in St. Louis, many women have reported a man peeking over the stall. On one such occasion, a woman emerged from the bathroom, returning to the bar, and stated to 2 men she was there with, "I hope you got an eyeful." However, the 2 men quickly denied ever having left the bar, for which the bartender verified. The ghost is said to be that of the womanizing William Jr. Someone needs to poke him in the eye.
Yeah, and then some.
In William Lemp Sr.'s room, guests have often reported hearing someone running up the stairs and kicking at the door. When William killed himself, William Jr. was known to have run up the stairs to his father's room and, finding it locked, began to kick the door in order to get to his father. Several years ago, a tour guide reported hearing the sounds of horses outside the room where William Lemp Sr. had kept his office. However, when the tour guide looked through the window, nothing was there. This area north of the mansion that is now used as a parking lot was once utilized as a tethering lot for horses. Now, Lemp Mansion is located at 3322 Demental Place, a short distance from the Mississippi River. To get there, you take Broadway from Interstate 55 and follow that to Cherokee Street, go west on Cherokee, and turn right on Demental Place.
Well, wasn't that nice if you give everybody directions on how to get there?
Well, you know what? The thing is, and the reason I did it was, like I said, that the website for Lemp Mansion is beautiful and it's full of history. I wish every place that had this kind of history had that same kind of website, because so much of the history was there, and it was all written. It was all neat. I was able to take large swaths of it. I probably read it pretty much verbatim through most of this. It told the story so well, so neatly, and it kept it as PG-12 as I would like us to keep every episode.
Sure.
You know, and I didn't have to edit out somebody saying a curse word that started with an S and ended with T. Hint, hint, Laura. Last week.
You don't start with me.
No, people make mistakes. Things happen. It's okay.
So,
Sure, if you were in a moment of that rage, you would say that too.
Oh, he says worse.
Look, I have made huge strides with my issues, but yes, I get angry fairly easily. But I'm trying, darn it. That's all I can say. And one of the things that helps me is doing this with the two of you. Why? Because every week I get a little time with my daughter, a little time with my lady, and I get to talk about cool stuff that I didn't always know about. Like, I knew about the Lemp Mansion, but I didn't know half as much as we talked about today.
Or as we're talking about at the moment.
So, I guess this leads us to the point in our summary, which the hauntings there are so well documented. I'm not even gonna make that a question. Something is happening there.
Yeah.
And considering now, the only person in that family that didn't kill themselves on that site is Elsa, and she might still be floating around there somewhere because, as we found out, talking about other places and other people.
Right.
Ghosts tend to go where they want to go, you know, where they felt comfortable. And if she felt comfortable there at any point, she might still be seen there. Of course, I would think a more likely candidate would be the Lavender Lady, because she spent so much time there. And the thing is those caves under the mansion,
I wouldn't.
those are largely limestone.
Limestone, which they say holds
energy. Exactly. So that probably keeps a lot of stuff there. And they still have the restaurant there. They still do hotelish kind of business there. So, I mean, I'm going to say something's going on. That the place is genuinely haunted. And, you know, and again, I cannot say this enough this episode. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And if it's something you're thinking about, please, for gosh sakes, reach out to someone who cares.
Yes, absolutely.
So, your thoughts on this? Which of you wants to go first this week?
I mean, I think that sometimes bad energy or bad karma or whatever you want to call it just circles around, and we know a lot more now about mental illness and depression and things like that they can tend to be, you know, not only situational, but also hereditary. And it sounds like there was probably a lot going on in that family, even more than what we have records of. So absolutely something.
Okay.
All right, Krysta?
So number one, I wouldn't go there if I was the what was her name? The
Lilac lady?
The Lavender Lady.
Lavender Lady. Because I think the ghost of the guy that she dated is there. So I wouldn't go there if I were her, but, you know.
They were married.
They were married.
Yeah, divorced. I remember that. Sorry, every time I say dated, I also think of marriage. So, okay. But, you know, it's kind of like what Mom said. It's a whole thing of karma. It's sort of like what comes around goes around. So it's like a shark circling you when you're in a shark cage. It's sort of like if you're not careful enough, you can get hurt or attacked by it. And that's just what happened here. And I do not condone using suicide to get past whatever you're feeling at the moment. If you do have suicidal thoughts from time to time, please do make sure you do get help, because I really do care for all the people that are listening. And yeah, I just think it's real. I mean, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be, unless it's like, I mean, I haven't seen it by myself, but there's no reason it wouldn't be haunted. If it's on the website that people have said it, if that's on like ratings that have been on there, if it's on, you know, anything like that, I don't see why it wouldn't be haunted.
Okay. So that's our episode on the Lemp Mansion. Again, if this interests you, you can go right now today to visit the place. I don't know how booked up they are, but it's certainly something you can do. If you want to do some spooky tourism, this would be one of those places. So now it's time for us to say our goodbyes. Thanks, of course.
I would also like to repeat, just in case, the place that I got got my facts from today were only in your state. I'd just like to repeat that, just in case people did not hear it.
We want to say thanks, of course, to the listeners. We can't do this without you, and with us almost a year. Well, technically, this is our year show because we missed one episode because I was having an operation. But we're going to hold out and do 52 as our year anniversary because there's 52 weeks in a year, and I would like to not miss any more weeks if we can avoid it.
Yeah.
So, thanks to listeners. We wouldn't have gotten here without you. Certainly wouldn't.
Don't forget to send in listener stories for next week's show.
Exactly. Don't forget. Also,
to hear it.
Thanks to Bill Barrett for our music. Thanks to Paige Elmore for our art. Thanks to Aaron Gnurk. Thanks to Aaron Gnurk and the Big Dumb Fun Show for help promoting us locally. Also, today, even though she's been with us for like 20 episodes or so now, today I made the official announcement on Twitter that Laura is part of the show. Mostly I made it because a lot of our Twitter friends will respond to the things we do as, you two are awesome. And I'm just like, you haven't listened in a while, have you? So I just wanted people to understand that there's three of us, not two, three. Laura's part of the show.
Awesome, yeah.
And I think you're an awesome part, my lady.
Well, thank you, sir.
I wouldn't want to go back to doing the show without you. I love the time we spend here.
I would like to say something very special and close to my heart.
Okay, you say whatever you want, my Krysta. Just keep the dirty words to a minimum, because we're a PG-12 show.
I'm the 12.
Yes, I know.
Why would I say a dirty word?
He's teasing you.
I was trying to be funny, but, sometimes I'm not, apparently. So
Apparently.
So, thanks to all of the listeners, especially, the ones that just appreciate us for being us, and we appreciate you the same way. Just remember that kindness does go around, and whatever you're going through right now will not determine what you go through in the future.
That's true, baby.
So you just gotta keep your head up and try your best. Just know that if nobody else loves you, we do. And I'm sure that some